Hey guys, let me tell you about a really stupid mistake I made, which was almost very costly. And I was trying to take a shortcut and it almost blew up in my face. So here's the situation I had. I had a very, very important hearing in a big case, and it was about 4 hours away, and it was in the morning. And I thought, I do not want to leave my house at 4 in the morning and drive 4 hours and then go argue this thing. So I said, I'm going to go down the night before, get a hotel, very close to the courthouse. And I looked it up on Google Maps, Apple Maps. I knew exactly where the courthouse was. But unfortunately that day I had to work, till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I get to where I wanted to be about midnight. And instead of going by the courthouse just to make sure I knew where it was, I was like, hey, I'm so close. I mean, it shows me here on Google Maps, no problem. So, get some sleep, get up that morning, really go over what I'm going to be arguing in court. And then I pull it up on Google Maps, Apple Maps, I think it was Apple Maps actually. And I go there and I get there, no problem, plenty of time. So I'm sitting in my car, kind of going over my thoughts. And then I walk in, and the first warning sign was there was no security. Normally in every courthouse in Alabama, there are sheriff's deputies, it's like going through the airport. And I'm looking around going, that's really weird. And so I stop somebody and I say, hey, where's Judge so-and-so's courtroom? And they're like, oh, this is the old courthouse. You want the new courthouse. Now the new courthouse, like 10 years old. And so I said, oh my goodness, well, where is it? And they told me where it was. I couldn't pull it up on Google Maps or Apple Maps. But they kind of gave me directions and I was able to find it. So I rushed through. Fortunately at security, they let me go through really quick, run up the stairs to the courtroom, walk in. I get there before the judge comes out. But, this is not the state of mind you want to be in where you're like, I'm going to be late. Because if you miss when the judge calls your case, if you're not there, you can lose your case. And so, it's a little bit of stress and run upstairs. And, in all of our courts, as I'm recording this video, you have to wear a mask. So, you're running with a mask on. And so I get in there and it's just not the way that you want to show up. And it turned out okay. Judge came out about 10 minutes later and my case was called and we were successful. We won. So it was great. But it really could have been bad. And, I have told people in my videos, go to the court before your date. Okay. And primarily I'm talking about go in your judge's courtroom, but even just finding the courthouse. And see, I knew though, I knew where it was. I'd been there years ago. I knew what it said on Google Maps and Apple Maps. I knew exactly how long it would take. All that was perfect except I was wrong. And I did not know where it was. And so, again, don't do what I did, okay? Don't take that shortcut. I mean, I was tired when I came in, found the hotel. But I should have taken another 10 minutes, get to the courthouse, make sure it's actually the right courthouse. Really, I should have called ahead of time. Now, you may say, well, John, I've only got one case and it's in the county courthouse. I know exactly where it is. And look, that's true, okay? But I can tell you from practicing all over the state of Alabama, we have 70 different courthouses, not counting any federal courthouses. There are times where they're doing renovation on a courthouse, and you don't know till you get there, and there's a sign that says, oh, by the way, we're 15 minutes over there. Well, they don't tell you that all the time. And a lot of the court notices that you get, it won't have the address. It'll have a P.O. box. And so I'm just saying, even though you're really confident, and I should have done this, call, say, hey, can you give me the street address? I want to make sure this is where Judge so-and-so is. Write it down, put it in Google Maps, go there before your hearing. Don't be like me, a 9 o'clock hearing, and you're running into the courtroom at 9:01, just hoping the judge is kind of running behind. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you to say that, it's easy to, particularly if you do this a lot, to get sort of overconfident and say, oh, I can skip that step, whether that's finding the courthouse or looking through all the documents or whatever it may be. My point is, don't skip those steps. I'm preaching to myself when I say this. Don't shortcut it. Do the work. Dot every I, cross every T. Just be really, really methodical about things and make sure that you're right. And that when you walk into that courtroom, whether you're a lawyer, whether you are represented by a lawyer, or you're representing yourself, you want to walk in there with no additional stress. Now, if it's an important case, and here's a little hint, every case is important. There's a lawyer named Don Keenan and a trial consultant named David Ball, and they said something many years ago that's really stuck with me. They said, there are no small cases, only small lawyers. Okay, so there are no small cases. Every case is important. So if you're involved in it, it's an important case, and that's going to sort of necessarily mean that it matters to you. It means something to you, or it should. And so that's going to cause a little bit of stress. Now that's good. It just means you're alive. But what you don't want is to be piling on top of that normal and good stress, unnecessary stress, like going to the wrong courthouse or not having your paperwork with you or not remembering, are you at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? I mean, I watched somebody in a courtroom and they showed up an hour late and they thought they were showing up on time, but they didn't. And the judge ruled against them and he wouldn't change his mind. He's like, I'm sorry, you were late, so you lose. So you just don't want any of that unnecessary stress. And so do as I say, not as I did on this particular day. So I hope that that's helpful to you. And I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.